there to see. It's been very insightful.
Very.
Very insightful. God bless you so much, Madam Adeline. Madam Aida, to my goodness. God bless you all so much. All I'll do is just to add, because they've said it all, really. And honestly, when my sister called me to speak, hey, it was about to remember the topic. Then when she said define the was racing, she said, okay, well, let's do this. And in my quest to put together one complicated presentation, I just thought, well, let me share my story. So just like Madam Aida said, sometimes that's the best way to communicate. So I hope you can follow me through and see where we define the odds and then embrace change. So I'll just start by saying change is very inevitable in our lives. We cannot live without change. Some change we actually facilitate, and some they just happen. Some is good, if you want to say that, and some we don't really like too much. But whether we like it or not, change happens. And change is a constant. It's a constant in our lives. I don't think we are still babies. We've changed. We became toddlers. Then we became teenagers, young adults, and now some of us are even grandparents, right? So change is a constant thing that happens in our lives. And sometimes, in as much as we keep things as is, and we don't want to change, we don't have control over what changes. We don't always have control over what changes. And in as much as we cannot change it, we need to embrace it. We need to move out of our comfort zones. Because one thing that change does is that when you are in this stage, you become comfortable. You start to operate in that stage. And now something happens and you have to move. And guess what? You find yourself in a new stage. And I realize that's why some people don't want to change jobs. I remember my former company, that's what I've been there since. Hey, the unique I stepped there, I said I'm giving myself 5 years and I'm out. I don't know where I'll go. I don't know what I will do. But in 5 years I must be out. It ended up being about over 6 years, but then I stepped out. And I had to take a long break. Talk about taking a pause. I think both of you. I took a long pause. Because I needed it. Like Madam Adeline said, why at all are we working? What are we doing? So I remember I took a sabbatical. Yeah. 1 year, no salary, nothing. I was just in my house watching TV, eating, sleeping. And those were the best days of my life. Honestly, I was traveling. I don't even know where I was getting the money from. I was traveling. I was having fun. But that was a stage in my life, and I had to go through that period of change. Let me walk you through my story. So I'll start from a personal story and then a professional story. Are we okay? So a personal story. Growing up, we had it all. Honestly. My father started work at a very young age with a cocoa research company. If you know chocolates, Hershey Foods, Hershey chocolates, yeah, he used to work with them. One of the youngest early days. Back then, any dollar. I mean, how old am I? Before I was born, it was any dollar. So by the time we came, life was good. Until one day, everything came down. Change. Was it change that we wanted? I mean, what were the days that there was this hotel at Marina Hotel? You remember it? Oh, we live in Accra. Where are we going? We pack our things. Where's the Marina Hotel? Like that was the life. On Sundays, no cooking. Oak Plaza. I think was it at Osu there? Yeah. We go there, have lunch, eat, come home. You're sleeping. Whatever you want, you get it. Because he was always on the move. So he tried to make up with lost time by giving us whatever we wanted. And that is the life we live until one day he woke up and that life was still not there. One day he lost his job, just like that. To someone who he introduced to the job. Helping people. That was fun another day. So one day we woke up and what to eat was an issue. So I could relate. Imagine from a time of vacationing, or now we call staycation. We were staycationing long ago, decades ago. One weekend, you just go and sleep in a hotel, have fun, just because you could afford it. And imagine waking up one day and you cannot feed. Change. And this happens all the time. It could be from good to bad, from bad to worse or from bad to good, but it's change. How do we handle it? How do we deal with it? I remember now we had to go to secondary because you know it was our childhood, so now I was going into senior high school. There was no money. No money. Imagine, no money. Come where the days that anytime they release a Nissan Patrol, he has it. Because he was trekking, so he needs a car, 4-wheel that can go into the cocoa farms and all that. And now, what do we have to do? You can't even afford to pay school fees. So my mom had to make the hard decision to Japa, go and labor and bring money. And I remember back in uni, it was so hard. Once she sends you your school fees and your hostel fees, we are 4, so it's not just me. Once she sends you your school fees and your hostel fees, that is it too. The small money left, you have to manage it. And I needed to do something. I mean, I have to adapt to my new circumstance. The affluence is no longer there. Even going to school, I had to use STC. One of the days, they will drive me after you going on treks. Maybe it's going to run a half hour or something on the way. I had to go by bus. I was never taking public transport. To where? I had to figure it out. But guess what? I had to first accept the situation. And I had to embrace it. So we put in the points in the story. I had to accept it. And I had to embrace it. This is it. There's no more extra money where I can sign a check and tell you that when you find out the price, write the amount on it. Gone are the days. You got blank check. It's gone. Open check. It's gone. When are the days? What do? I had to adapt. I went to school, no money, I have to feed. And honestly, I grew up in church, so going the other way was not an option. It didn't matter what you tell me all the nice things. I've seen it all, I've heard it all. What can you show me that I've not seen before? And it's not because now that I don't have, so I want to go. There's nothing you tell me in this life that will make me do anything illegal to make money. So then now I had to find a way to now exist in this new era. I was in a very uncomfortable zone and I had to exist. So my roommate back then, she was in final year. We stayed in a room for 2 years. Final year, she will cook and give me. And me, I will do the cleaning. That one. I'll do the cleaning. She will cook and give me when two in a room. But you know, she was so understanding. It's just amazing how God brings people your way and helps you fit into that situation. You have to embrace, defy the odds, and exist. So she, after school, became a teaching assistant. And in her class, she was selling sobolo, the hibiscus, the red juice. And she said, this thing has money in it too. But okay, first, let's see what can you do. Let's sell eggs. Hey, me sell eggs. How? How I sell eggs? So she says, okay, when I go to town, when she was in school, she was doing millinery. The hats, fascinators. And she said, when I go to town, I'll buy you a crate of eggs. This one, press your eyes, me when you go to the halls in the morning and sell it. I said, how can I sell eggs? Maybe I have never had to work for food. I should go and sell eggs. How? How to sell? Because it's not the time to be proud. And it's not the time to be looking back. Like you said, the past is gone. Look forward. I said, okay, fine. I had this bag. I've forgotten the brand. It was a designer bag. Oh my God. I will load my eggs in it. Before 6 a.m. I've left my hostel. I was in tech. I'll walk to Africa Hall and I'll be selling down like that fresh eggs. Oh, I'm walking the halls announcing I have fresh eggs. Oh, I don't feel like crying. But how else? And one time, as I was selling, then the whole president came out and said, please, we don't do that here. I said, I am a student. He says, no, you have to write a letter, get up. I'm telling you. Hey, I've never heard this before. People every day, I hear people come around and sell. So you see an obstacle. As I'm trying to embrace my change, accept it. It's already difficult as it is. I mean, it was so embarrassing that day I couldn't finish selling my eggs. I had to, now if I had to finish it, I had to go to Koti, a boys' hall. Look at all this. I finished it for the day. I went back to my room with that. This is not working. They are saying I can't sell anymore. So what do we do? You have to evolve. Right? You have to evolve. Then she says that, okay, I sell Sobolo glass. So let me teach you how to make sandwiches and then ring donuts. So that you do it and package it back there, 50 pesos. Hey, it was cheap. It was money to me, 50 pesos. And you know, she would have done it herself because she's teaching me. But she said, let me teach you. Do it every morning, wake up early, do it for me to take to class. I will sell it and I'll bring you your money. So you see? So you know, this taught me a lot. I learned a new skill. New skills. I learned to be independent. I even learned how to board a car. I had to adapt. One were the days that, the way you go, I'm almost down, drop me. One were the days. Now, if I have to be here at 2 o'clock, I have to leave home, depending on where I am, at 30 minutes. Because you have to walk to the junction. The truck will stop. The mate will load. If you want to get there on time, you have to set off earlier than before. Now, you can't wear all those things. You have to wear a truck friendly dress. I don't want time, I'll go for a wedding, the truck seat, oh my goodness.
It's a design.
This design was a very dangerous design. So you see the changes that I've had to go through. And we all go through several changes, different changes in different areas of our life. But as to how do we have to embrace it. We have to accept it. This is it, good or bad, this is it. And if you dwell in the past, so my family members, they don't recover. That's what let me cry. One of the days, me, I will go to Kaukudi, shoot 2 million. But passion, but I'm matching by one of them, and they hear me. And see them cry. How many years ago? I'm talking recent. How many years ago? Because you are still living in denial. Accept it. This is it. Good or bad. I am no longer that affluent person. I am no longer that person who can. If you call the banker, get together with my money is ready. That is no longer me. Now, the points I have to join the queue and deposit it or even keep it because tomorrow I'll still withdraw it. That is it. Change. Accept it. Embrace it. We are using the embrace word again. Adapt. And you have to evolve. Don't stay there. Because this is a change. I have arrived, I am here. No, you have to move on. So in moving on, I'll move on to change in my career life. So I went through all this. Still, I was determined. I completed school. It was hard. Look, I'm not even going to lie. But God brought people who, I mean, when I was in national service, there was this man I met in church. He paid for my accommodation. Just like that. I gained a father who is way older than me. So today I can call and say, Daddy, how are you? Daddy, this is it. Daddy, here I am. I gained, I gained people in my life who became pillars through this. There are people that I might not have met if I was still living down my life where I thought I was on top of the world. But I see what the change brought. Once you accept the embrace, you begin to see the opportunities in there that it is bringing and you take it. And you do something with your life. I'm not doing my business in my life. Now about my career change. I started off thinking being a receptionist, I mean, no offense to the role, I've done it several years, was the best thing I could ever do in my life. So that was my career goal. But that's an entry level goal. It's a great goal, but you won't go through all your levels of education just to build a career as a front desk person. But that's how I started. And I was so excited, I thought that was it. I was ecstatic. 2 months into the job, I was asked to move into immigration to support someone who was going on maternity leave. Did I know anything about immigration? No, change. Can we do this? What is all this? Are they trying to fire me? Just fire me. Why are you going to put me in a space where I have no knowledge about, I cannot operate in? What is all this? Or do I just leave myself? But I decided to take it. It's a challenge. And in the discomfort, I took it on. And even before I finished that role, I was again moved to another department, HR. So I never went back to reception. Never. I didn't go back. Why? Because I took that opportunity. And little did I know that I was starting to build a career path in a different area. So I started off as a receptionist, right? I took it because I was excited. I love working with people. I love to. I thought that would be the perfect job for me. Not because of anything, but just because I get to interact with people. Little did I know that there were other areas that I could still engage in, maybe at a higher level, and still engage with people. And so I moved from immigration to an acting EA. I don't know, not even a PO, acting EA, an executive assistant. I've never done the job. I work with a very difficult person. My goodness. That is for another day. A job you have never done before. With a difficult person who knows that you've not done the job before, but expect you to operate here. She doesn't have room for mistakes. None. None whatsoever. Uncomfortable change. I mean, I was wearing shoes that were pinching. I mean, for Christ's sake, I'm sitting in for somebody. Can you take it easy on me already? And guess what? The person called and said, Michelle, I'm not coming back. So you're supposed to stay. I'm telling you, she just screwed me over. Like you're staying there. Change. I stayed there for 8 months. And then one day, HR calls me and says, report to this department and tell them HR sent you. I said, so this change that I didn't bargain for, change that I didn't apply for, I don't know what is there. Already you moved me twice. No problem. But this one now, she says it's not an option. You are reporting there. Just like that. Just like that. Little did I know that that might be my breakthrough point. Because I met someone who saw potential in me and thought that no. I mean, why are they doing this to you? You know what? I was supposed to be there for 2 weeks. So in 2 weeks, I went and said, okay, I'm done here. I'm going back. And he said, well, who released you? So that was where I got a permanent placement as an E. Go back to your desk until I say go, you're not going. So call HR and say that release her from all this moving around. She's now my E. And you know what? Get her off that contract and make her permanent staff. Change. So you see, it started off as unpleasant, but that person they assigned me to, you know what Kakai is? Kakai was the person's nickname. So that's why it's hard to command me. It's not an option. It's like you're reporting to this person. Well, one day, the person called me and said, I heard that when they told you to come to me, he said you won't come. I said, oh, but it's old news. Now I know you're not really Kakai. And guess what? Unknown to me, it's a senior executive, but he was very shy. Which is why he always has this face, and people say Kakai. No, that is his way of dealing with the shyness. So I'm not talking to you, I'm not looking at you, I'm going to go your way. And the thought he was Kakai. But guess what, by the time he was leaving, he left the business. By the time he was leaving, people come and say, hey, you almost smile at me, hey, greeted me. I'm like, yeah, no. That's a little change that I can also bring in my little corner. So guess what? I was forcibly moved into an area. I took on the challenge, I adapted, I evolved, and guess what? I found a permanent place here. Opportunities. It brought an opportunity, and I took it. Look, I can go on and on. From there, I moved to support senior manager again in finance and supply chain. And from there, I moved to the office of the managing director. You know where I started from? From the reception all the way to the 6th floor, which was the last floor. I was at the pinnacle. And now people envy you. But you see, they don't envy the process. No. Which is why you have to keep pushing. Look at the end of it. When they always say that there's light at the end of the tunnel, today look at me, I'm standing here. I had to evolve. I now have to stop thinking like a receptionist and start thinking like an EA. Because now I'm in a space where I can't just say yes sir, no sir, yes ma, no ma, no. I have to say no, but you have a meeting here at 2 o'clock, so you can't do this. You said I should put Ethel at 2. No, you are meeting the MD at 2. You can't meet Ethel at 2. So I'm building competencies. Right? All because I did not say, you know what, take your job, I'm gone. This is not what I signed up for. But I embraced it. I adapted and I evolved. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. But you see, when I was placed in that position, I felt that I was being set up to fail. I didn't know that they were teasing out something in me. Even though forcefully, it was there. To know that you have capacity beyond this. And now I was training receptionists. I was training national service people. What did they see in me? Were people not there before I came? But because I had built capacity, right? I had been forced into an area, but I found out that, oh, you can actually expand. You can actually do more. And guess what? Now, I've been built to a point, I move out of there, and now what am I? A program analyst. No longer a receptionist, no longer an EA, but now we're designing programs, transitioning young people from school to work. Why? I embrace change. And so today, my story is just to say that it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter what change you are facing, whether it's pleasant to you or not, embrace it. Even if you attempt and fail, even failures in itself has a lesson. And if you will take that lesson, and if you will run with it, if you will embrace change, accept it, adapt and evolve, you will grow. You will discover an area of yourself that you never knew existed. And for all you know, it might propel you to the next level. So what do I say? Evolve, change, adapt, embrace, and defy the odds. Thank you so much. Wow, that was